We've all been there, haven't we? You're faced with a really big choice.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's, deciding whether to move cities for a job, or maybe something smaller, but still important, like how to prioritize projects in a meeting.
Yeah, those moments pop up all the time.
And when that pressure hits,
Yeah.
what's the first thing that often comes out? It's usually something like, "Oh, I don't know," or just a flat, "I can't decide."
Right. The default answer.
Exactly. And look, they get the point across functionally, but they don't really capture the struggle you might be feeling, do they?
No, not at all. They're quite basic.
And if you only use those simple phrases for complex choices, you can sometimes sound a bit vague
Mm.
or maybe even unprepared.
Which isn't ideal, especially when the stakes are high.
Precisely. You need language that shows not just what you decided, but maybe a little bit about how you're thinking it through.
Your process. Yeah.
So today we're doing a bit of a communication overhaul. We want to equip you with some, let's say, more sophisticated, more practical ways to talk about decisions, covering everything from that deep internal conflict right through to setting a really firm boundary with confidence,
Yeah, this is all about upgrading how you communicate in those moments.
making your impact clearer.
And that's the crucial bit, I think. We're not just listing synonyms here.
No.
It's about picking the right phrase for the right situation. I mean, deciding between vanilla and chocolate ice cream, that's different from choosing a strategic business partner, right?
Absolutely. Different stakes, different language needed.
Your words need to reflect either how uncertain you truly are or, conversely, how clear your conviction is.
Okay, so let's dive in. Let's start with maybe the most common label for being stuck. The word indecisive.
Right, the technical term almost.
Yeah, you might say something like, look, I'm usually not indecisive, but buying this house,
Yeah.
wow, it's proving really difficult. It works, it's factual, but maybe a little clinical.
It is a bit dry for everyday chat, isn't it? We need phrases with a bit more life, more feeling for daily use.
So what's the natural replacement, the everyday version of I can't decide?
Well, the most immediate informal one is simply, I can't make up my mind.
Yeah, the go-to.
That's it. It signals that choice paralysis perfectly. You know, if you're looking at two cars, you might text a friend, oh, I can't make up my mind between the sedan and the SUV.
Simple, clear, informal. Got it.
But then we get into phrases that paint a much richer picture of the internal struggle.
Okay.
My personal favorite, because it's just so visual, is I'm torn between A and B.
Oh, I like that one. Torn. You can really feel the pull.
Exactly. It communicates that the options feel, well, mutually exclusive, but both are really appealing. You feel literally pulled apart.
Yeah.
Think about those big life choices people grapple with. You hear it all the time. I'm torn between doing my master's now or taking a gap year to travel.
Or the classic bunny one. I'm torn between saving hard for retirement and, finally renovating the kitchen.
It immediately tells you there's a real emotional weight to the decision. It shows you value both options.
That's a good point. It respects both sides. But what about when the decision just drags on and on? When you're not just pulled once, but you keep flipping between the options.
Yes. The endless cycle.
Oh, it's exhausting.
For that kind of cyclical hesitation, the phrase is, I keep going back and forth.
Okay.
This suggests it's not just a single tough moment, it's more like a long-running mental battle. Someone told me recently about a job offer that needed relocation.
Oh, yeah.
They said, I keep going back and forth on whether to move. One day I'm mentally packing boxes, the next day I just can't imagine leaving.
Wow, that captures it perfectly.
Yeah.
So torn is like the initial sharp conflict.
Yeah.
And going back and forth is more the chronic fatigue of it all.
Nicely put, exactly. Okay, so now let's shift gears a bit. What about a different situation? What if you actually made a choice, you picked a path, but now the doubt is creeping in?
Okay, so this is crucial. We're not choosing anymore. We've chosen,
Right.
but we're rethinking it. How do we express that potential regret or sudden worry?
This is where you use I'm having second thoughts.
Okay, second thoughts.
It's specifically for when you maybe accepted an offer or you were really excited about a plan, but something new, maybe new information or just more reflection has made you hesitate.
Right, like maybe you accepted a job offer quite quickly.
Exactly. And then you say, I accepted the offer, but now I'm having second thoughts about the commute. Or maybe we were so excited about the trip, but I'm having second thoughts because of the unexpected costs.
It's not just indecision then. It's more like post-decision anxiety.
That's a good way to put it. Post-commitment apprehension. And the stakes feel higher because changing your mind now might have real consequences.
Yeah, backing out is harder.
Exactly.
And is there a quicker version? Like if you reassess something on the spot?
Oh, definitely. You can use the related phrase like in a meeting. On second thought, maybe we should delay the launch until we see those final figures.
Ah, okay. So it shows you're processing things live.
Yes. It shows flexibility, agility. You're not just stuck on your first idea, you're updating your thinking. That's actually a strong trait.
Right. Okay, this is really useful for personal stuff, but let's move into the professional world now. High-stakes situations.
Yeah.
Client meetings, negotiations. Saying, I'm torn, probably isn't going to inspire much confidence, is it?
No, definitely not. You need more structure, more strategy in your language there. You need to manage how you're perceived.
So first scenario.
Yeah.
You genuinely need more time to think. How do you ask for a delay without sounding weak or unprepared?
Right. Just saying, I don't know yet is weak. You need to frame the need for time as diligence.
Okay.
So the professional way is something like, I'd like some time to review these details carefully before making a final decision. Could we perhaps revisit this tomorrow morning?
Ah, I see. That completely changes the dynamic. You're not saying you're lost. You're saying the issue deserves proper thought.
Exactly. It shows responsibility, not indecisiveness.
Okay, next professional challenge. Polite disagreement. Your colleague presents an idea. You respect them, but you think there's a better way. How do you say that without just shooting them down?
Yeah, this is delicate. You can't be blunt. The key is to validate first.
Validate.
Acknowledge the merit in their suggestion before you offer yours. Try something like, I see the merit in that approach, Jane, and I appreciate you outlining it so clearly. However, I personally lean toward a slightly different solution because...
Okay, so validate the person and their effort first.
Yes, then gently pivot to your idea. It keeps things collaborative, not combative.
That's smart. It's about the delivery strategy, too. Okay, what about the flip side? When you do strongly support an option and you want to sound convincing, not just opinionated.
You absolutely must anchor your preference in something objective. Data, criteria, evidence.
Not I feel.
Definitely not I feel that. Lead with the facts. So a strong statement sounds like, based on the Q3 data presented and keeping our budget constraints in mind, I firmly believe option B is our best bet.
Right. Citing the data immediately makes it sound like an informed recommendation, not just a gut feeling.
Gives it weight. Build credibility instantly.
Okay. Now, professional life is often about compromise, isn't it? How do you show you're flexible, willing to discuss alternatives, but without losing sight of your main goals?
You need to clearly signal what's non-negotiable and what's open for discussion.
How do you phrase that?
You could say something like, look, I'm open to exploring other ways to structure this if we can absolutely guarantee we meet the client's hard deadline.
Got it. So you're saying the deadline is fixed, but the path to hitting it can be debated.
Precisely. You define the immovable object, but show flexibility on the method.
And then the opposite end of the spectrum. When you absolutely have to draw a line, the point you won't cross, when do you use that really strong term, deal breaker?
Ah, the deal breaker. Use this one very carefully. It's powerful, it's unambiguous. It means if this specific thing doesn't happen, the whole deal is off. You'd say it directly. For us, this clause regarding intellectual property is a deal breaker. We need it included in the final contract.
Wow. So only use it if you mean it.
Only if you are genuinely prepared to walk away. It leaves zero room for interpretation. It's far stronger and frankly more professional than just saying, well, we don't really like that part.
That's a really powerful set of tools for professional settings. Which brings us to our final section. Once you have made a decision, how do you express it in a way that sounds thoughtful, considered, persuasive even?
Right, not sounding like you just flipped a coin.
Exactly. We want prudent and persuasive, not lucky guess.
Well, the first technique is probably the most important, and we've touched on it. Always give you reasons.
Okay.
Just compare these two. First, I decided to go with plan A. It sounds okay, but a bit arbitrary.
Right.
Now compare it with, after reviewing the projections, I've decided to go with plan A because it offers us the most stable long-term return in what looks like a volatile market next year.
Huge difference. The because makes it instantly more convincing.
Reasons provide the why. They show your thinking.
Makes sense. Now, something you mentioned earlier, uncertainty. There's often pressure, especially with bosses, to sound 100% sure. But what if you're not? How do you admit some uncertainty professionally?
It's okay not to have all the answers. Professional humility is actually a strength. You can frame a recommendation as provisional.
How would that sound?
You could use a template like, okay, I'm not entirely sure as we're still waiting on the final market research, but based on everything we know so far, this approach seems like the most feasible path forward.
Ah, okay. So you acknowledge the gap in knowledge but still offer direction, managing expectations.
Exactly. You highlight the constraint, but still provide leadership.
And finally, there's a way to show you're thinking broadly, even after you state your conclusion, which is,
Inviting collaboration. Showing you value others' input.
how does that work?
After you've laid out your reasoned decision, you don't just stop there. You end with a question that brings others in. Something like, so that's my perspective based on the financial models. What are your thoughts on how this impacts the marketing timeline?
I see. So it shows your decision isn't the absolute final word in isolation.
Precisely. It's the starting point for integrating it with everything else. It shows comprehensive, team-oriented thinking.
Wow. We've covered a lot today. We've really journeyed from that internal, almost painful feeling of being torn between two things, all the way to the structured confidence needed to say, based on the data, I believe this is the way forward in a professional context.
And the key takeaway is that the power lies in choosing the right phrase, the one that accurately reflects where you are in your decision process, your level of certainty, your need for time, or the firmness of your stance.
Every word counts, doesn't it?
It really does. Every phrase you use when discussing a decision is either building up your credibility and professional image or potentially undermining it. These expressions are like strategic tools in your communication toolkit.
They help you manage perceptions and show you're thinking things through properly.
Exactly. Thoughtful deliberation.
So here's our challenge to you, the listener. The next time you're facing a real choice, big or small, personal or professional, try to consciously skip that automatic, I don't know. Instead, reach for one of these more specific, more nuanced expressions we've talked about. See how it changes the feel of the conversation, how it adds clarity, and maybe even a bit of strength to your communication.
Give it a try.
We really enjoy diving into these practical topics that hopefully make your everyday communication a bit easier, maybe a bit more effective.
Absolutely. And on that note, if there is a specific communication skill or maybe a set of phrases for a certain situation or just a topic you find tricky, something you grapple with and you'd like us to unpack like we did today, please do let us know, leave us a comment or send some feedback.
We're always genuinely looking for new communication puzzles to solve with you.